Hello all, welcome. Let's discuss web systems. Web systems have limited windowing capabilities. The frame concept does provide a window-like ability, and JavaScript does provide pop-up windows. We know JavaScript is a client-side scripting language through which we can do pop-up windows also. Frames. The description of frames is multiple web screen panes that permit the displaying of multiple documents on a page. These documents can be independently viewed, scrolled and updated. The documents are presented in a tiled format. Proper usage of frame is for content expected to change frequently, to allow users to change partial screen content, to permit users to compare multiple pieces of information. Frames guidelines are: use only a few frames, 3 or less, at a given time. Choose sizes based upon the type of information to be presented. Never force viewers to resize frames to see information. Never use more than one scrolling region on a page. Description. Let's discuss the description in detail. The web is historically essentially a single page, or by analogy a single window entity. While providing significant interface benefits, it is also a reversal of the interface evolution process that led from single screen technology to windowing. To counteract this shortcoming, frames were created. A frame is an independent pane of information presented in a web page, or again by analogy as multiple windows. Frames, however, are presented as tiled with no overlapping capability. The interaction richness, support and contextual cues provided by the overlapping windows are lacking. Frames then allow the displaying of multiple documents on a single web page. These multiple documents can be independently viewed, scrolled and updated. Proper usage of frames. Frames are useful in situations where portions of the page content are expected to change frequently. The volatile information can be separated from other page content and placed within a frame, thereby requiring only a portion of the page's content to be modified. Frames are also useful for allowing the user to change page content. Navigation links can be placed in one frame and the resulting content displayed within another frame. As different links are selected, the content in the related frame changes. Finally, frames more effectively allow users to compare multiple pieces of related information displayed within the different frames. Advantages and disadvantages of frames. Frames, like most interface entities, have advantages and disadvantages. At this moment in their existence, the disadvantages seem to outweigh the advantages. These disadvantages, however, are being whittled away as web technology advances. Frames advantages mostly cluster around their ability to reduce the user's content comprehension mental load. These include the following: they decrease the user's need to jump back and forth between screens, thereby reducing navigation related cognitive overhead. They increase the user's opportunity to request, view and compare multiple sources of information. They allow content pages to be developed independently of navigation pages. It has got some disadvantages. The disadvantages mostly cluster around navigational shortcomings, including the difference between a single web page and a page with frames is not always obvious to the user. They suffer some of the shortcomings of tiled screens. Only a limited number can be displayed in the available screen area. They are perceived as crowded and more visually complex because frame borders are flush against one another and they fill up the whole screen. Crowding is accentuated if the borders contain scroll bars or control icons. Viewer attention may be drawn to the border, not the data. Frames based pages behave differently from regular web pages. Page printing difficulties and problems can exist. Page interaction can be clumsy. URLs cannot be emailed to other users. Frames will not work on older browsers. Guidelines of frames. Guidelines to consider in using frames are the following: use no more than 3 frames at a time. Using more will shrink each frame's usable area to the point where little space will be available for presenting content. Then users will not be able to see much and be forced to scroll. Choose frame sizes based upon the type of information you want to present. Navigational links, for example, should be presented in a small frame and the corresponding information in a larger adjacent frame. Never force people to resize frames to see information. If people feel they must resize frames, the page design is poor. Finally, do not use more than one scrolling region in frames contained on a page. This may be confusing to many users. Technological advances in frames will continue to occur. Knowledge related to frame usability will also advance. Always be aware of the latest developments. Now let's discuss pop-up windows. Be extremely cautious in the use of pop-up windows because it never allows the user to select other items, right, when the pop-up window is activated. JavaScript pop-up windows began appearing on the web in 1996. Their use is multiplying, and in the view of almost all web users, polluting screens. Because they are most frequently used in advertising, they have become a source of great aggravation to almost every user. Anecdotal evidence suggests that when a pop-up window begins to appear, most people close them before they are rendered. So if a pop-up window is used, it may never be completely seen or read by the user. Use them with extreme caution. Thank you for watching.